Hey folks, Fernando Jr. video for Modern Survivalist, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys some of the more interesting lighters in my humble collection. I have a bunch more. These would be the ones at least more noticeable, more worth mentioning and talking about. Before I go on, I just want to say this. If you bought my latest book, Street Survival Skills, which you definitely should, I think it's a great addition to your library full of practical skills that you will not find a lot of many other places. If you bought it, liked it, do take 1 minute and leave a review in Amazon. Those are greatly appreciated, folks. I was talking with someone yesterday on Facebook. He had bought the Modern Survival Manual, loved it, got this one as well, liked this one as well too. So take a minute, it's hugely appreciated. Now, like anyone else interested in survival and preparedness, I guess I've been interested in lighters from a very early age. I got my first survival knife when I was 10 years old. I asked my folks for a survival knife. They bought me one of these cheap Rambo knives. It actually held through my first few years trying stuff, making shelters, fires and such. Of course, when you're interested in that kind of outdoors activity, you quickly gravitate towards lighters as well. I bought my first Zippo Lighter just soon after that, and this is that one. This is my first Zippo Lighter. I think it's the first actual lighter I ever bought. I probably bought some Bic Lighter or something like that before, but this was the first cool lighter I went with. Didn't even know how it worked. The guy in the store put some fuel in there for me, and I used it and bought a bottle later. Yeah, that's my first lighter. The idea of having something to start fires is, of course, very appealing. This was EDC back in the day, before such a thing as EDZ even existed. I had my Zippo with me, I had my Victorinox and my mini Mag Light, the one that uses a single AAA that barely has any light at all. But for many years, this is the one I went with. Soon after that, I bought this other one, this other Zippo. Pretty cool looking, has that camo finish, actually very nice. At some point, I bought something else. I bought this Chinese knockoff of what I later learned was the IMCO lighter. IMCO lighters are very cool. If you're not familiar with them, IMCO lighters are made in Austria. They're actually the original lighters. They're the first manufacturer of lighters back in 1912. The first commercial lighters being made, starting with those trench lighters using spent cases. Their more successful model was probably the IMCO Triplex Super, which I have an original version of. This one made in around the 1950s. IMCOs were very successful. Over 500 million made worldwide. So yeah, they're actually a lot better than Zippos. That seems like sacrilege, but they simply are. And IMCO, IMCO went out of business in 2012. They couldn't keep up with these guys, a Chinese knockoff. Thanks China for that again. So they couldn't keep up with those knockoffs from China. Besides, their business was not doing so well economically, and at the same time they were forced to relocate because of the area where they had become more urbanized, and their industry had to move because of the kind of manufacturing process they had going on. So lots of problems. They ended up closing in 2012. The last series of IMCOs that they were making were these three. I have a bunch of them. I have several. I have more of these because I love these things. But the last series of IMCOs were the Triplex Super, the Junior model, and the Streamline. So why is it that I'm saying that these are better than Zippos? Because they simply are. One of the first tests I did as a kid was which one of these will hold their fuel longer. As a kid, I would have my Zippo, put some fuel in there, have it leak, and then I would have like a nasty rash in my pants because this was going in the jeans and stuff like that. So it's a kind of pain in the ass. But these, in my tests, I was turning these on for 2 seconds each day. A Zippo will last you give or take 2 weeks. An IMCO will last you a full month doing the exact same thing, and even a little bit beyond that. So it lasts over twice as long as your Zippo. It is more rugged, it is more reliable as well. The system for changing the flint is a lot easier. Just open it up like so. You have a small window there. You drop the flint. You even have a compartment for a spare flint. So you use that flint, you throw it in there if you're running out of flint, and you close it, and that's it. There's no screw, nothing. Then you have the lighter, you turn it on, and it automatically turns on when you open the cap. The cap is covering the wick, and you have a windshield which allows you to adjust the size of the flame. How cool is that? Besides that, you can even remove the tank, the fuel tank, and use it like a little candle. So if you're using it like burn something or melt some plastic or whatever, stuff like that, or start even a fire, you can just remove it like that, use it like a little candle, approach it to a fireplace or wherever it is you have to reach, and there you go. How awesome is that? And that's, when you see the movies of the guys going with their Zippos, like using it like a torch, no, this is a lot better. Much, much better. IMCOs are as cool as they come. So, in spite of all that, I've always liked Zippos. And one of the first problems, well, ironically enough, I'm not a smoker, never smoked in my life, have zero interest in that. Maybe a couple of times when I was in a club, in a pub, something like that, some girl would ask for a fire. I would bring out my cool Zippo or whatever that I have with me. There you go. And wow, awesome, nice lighter. Then I realized that I don't like women that smoke. Just, they smell nasty. Just, I don't know. It just, if you're not a smoker, the smell, it's just something you don't enjoy at all. But as a survivalist, you want to have means of starting fire. So having a Zippo is a big deal. You can go with something a lot more easier and simple. Go with a Bic Lighter, a clipper. Clippers are pretty awesome. These are refillable. They have a small valve. I had some of these fail, but they changed the model, so I bet that's part of it. These seem to be a little bit better. You have these bright colors, a lot more noticeable. You can even change the flint in these things. You can just pull it like that, change the flint, refuel them. They even have a mechanism by which when you put it like that sideways, it has a bigger flame. Pretty cool. And then you have, if you want something a little bit nicer and still cheap, affordable, you have these clippers in metal, gunmetal, and chromed finish. These are metal. These are a little bit heavier, nice construction, still refillable, and you can change the wick there as well. And they're pretty cool little lighters, cheap as well. I guess some of the more interesting ones, well, this would be a Ransom, the one that has like a catalytic lighter, like a jet fuel thing going on there. These usually fail. This one is surprisingly reliable, but my heart has always been with Zippo. And of these, the one I've loved the most is the Lucky Charm Cloverleaf Zippo from the Indiana Jones movie. Now, in the Indiana Jones movie, there was no such thing as a Cloverleaf Zippo, and they did that specifically as a prop for the movie. If you're not familiar with it, they just had a brushed steel Zippo, and they just stuck a paper design on top of a typical Zippo. If you actually look at, well, the Zippo is used by Indiana Jones in the catacomb scenes from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusades. Elsa, the Nazi spy, gives Indiana Jones, so as to go down into the catacombs, a Zippo. She calls it her Lucky Charm, and Indiana Jones uses it to light his way through the catacombs, and then he keeps that lighter, and then Elsa, realizing she no longer has her lighter, she brings out, yes, an IMCO triplet super, and she uses this one in the following scene. You see Indiana Jones with his father tied to a chair, and he uses Elsa's Lucky Charm, as the name of the Zippo now is, and he burns the ropes with the lighter. And if you look closer in the DVD version of the movie, he drops the Zippo, and in that scene you see how the paper starts burning, because it's just a little piece of paper stuck on top of a brushed steel Zippo. So there's no real original Zippo Sasuke for those that are fanatics. Fans of the movies, not fanatics, fans. So Zippo eventually came out with like a version of the Elsa's Lucky Charm original by Zippo. I bought that one, and that is this lighter. The thing is, that lighter, that Indiana Jones lighter, had this design like painted on top, and it really quickly started peeling off. A couple of months later, I had nothing left. It was just peeling off like just a little flimsy thing. Very depressing. being obsessive compulsive as I am, I went online, found a community, a forum of people that discuss Indiana Jones and its props. And there was a guy called Relic Raider that makes these badges for your lighter. So I bought some of these. I bought these two from him. I bought the ones that he was making. These are resin badges. Beautiful, beautiful work. That guy is no longer making these, but man, did he do some fantastic job. So he makes the original, kind of thing, replicating that movie. This is all resin and it's a badge that goes on top, and he did these ones which are a hybrid version which uses metal and resin filled on the inside. Just goes like that, super heavy, chunky, and solid as hell. This is the one I use. It's just a fantastic lighter. Now, not being a smoker and kind of being bored about having to refill these all the time, I found the perfect solution in the Thunderbird Insert. I'll leave a link for all of this stuff, guys, below in Amazon if you want to check it out. You won't find IMCOs because it's no longer being made. These are going to be likely Chinese copies. I think some Chinese manufacturer bought the patent for it, and there may be something made in China but still somewhat original, although no longer made in Austria like the original ones. If I find it, I'll leave the link for you guys. It's supposed to be pretty good as well. So the Thunderbird Insert is just a insert that goes in your Zippo, and you don't have to worry about having these dry up anymore. You just remove this, you place it somewhere else where you'll never use it again, and you have this, which you have, you can refill this. You're using even the wick. You're not using a wick anymore, but you're using a flint and steel wheel. So even as a survival, from a survival point of view, you can put a little bit of cotton in there, and if you have no more fuel left, you can get a spark and you can get a fire going if you have that flint. So you put this in there. You can even adjust the size of the flame. Put it like that, open it like that so that it starts working as soon as you open it. You have gas, wheel, fire. Beautiful, beautiful, great way to get around that. So this is one I use. I also love this one. I'll see if I find it in Amazon, so I have to leave the link below. This one is also used every once in a while, again with that same thing. Super reliable. I like these things. I have these for years, not have even one of these leaks, so very happy about that. And these will just look awesome. The Crusader there with the cross, super nice. And this one is, I don't know, like more flowerish thingy. This is also a badge that just goes on top. So guys, that's it. Maybe some of the more unusual stuff would be something like this, the peanut lighter. This is a titanium peanut lighter that I keep in my keychain. This also uses Zippo fuel. And the nice thing is that it has an O-ring, so it holds the fuel for a pretty long time. And finally, plasma arc electric lighter. This uses just a lithium-ion battery, no fuel, no gas, nothing to leak. That's pretty cool. And you just use electricity. And if you get to see there, and it actually works. This is something that, yeah, it is gonna be burning. You press it like that, you put a little bit of paper and fire. There you go. So yeah, this actually works very well. I've had this for I think almost like a couple years now, maybe. And yeah, it's a great solution as well if you want to have something that's reliable to start fires. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this little video of mine. Take care, have an awesome day. So subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell button. See you on our next video. Take care.